It feels as though recently I haven't been too inspired by my surroundings, so I thought it'd be a good idea to drive somewhere outside Brisbane. So one free afternoon I took the opportunity to take a drive out to a place called Dayboro. It's actually a quaint country town about 50 kilometers north of Brisbane. So I'd actually shot a wedding there quite a few years ago, and I remember it hosting the most incredible views, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to get back out there, see if I can take the Mamiya RZ67 with me, and yeah, just take some good shots. The weather was actually pretty ideal that day. You had these really nice blue skies. It made for a warm winter day. Saying that, we are in Queensland, so you don't really get much of a winter, but as winter as it would get. So before I made my way to Dayboro, I actually made a pit stop at my parents' place to check on their puppies. You guys said you were all about wholesome dog content, so I thought I'd add that in here as well. Here we have Nora. Running away from me. And then we have Charlotte. So I'm cooking up a bit of food before I head out and take some shots. A bit of a mismatch, but I had to pull something together quickly. So I decided to load the Mamiya RZ67 up with some Portra 400. A very classic combo for me lately. I've just been enjoying that camera a whole lot, just enjoying the slow process of using it, and yeah, just getting used to the ergonomics of it as well. So after I made the quick pit stop, I actually started to head to Dayboro. I definitely stopped a few times on the way there. The first thing that caught my eye were these really nice swaying trees near this property. I thought it'd be a good way to get started and yeah, just get into the swing of things and practice the first few shots. These definitely probably weren't my favorite photos of the day, but they were nice to get warmed up, like I said before. I was definitely feeling a bit adventurous that day. I decided to take a few side roads on the way there. You normally find the most, kind of unique subjects, or you just don't know what's waiting around the corner. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to see if I can suss out some more unique vantage points or some interesting subjects. This scene seemed to catch my eye. You definitely had a few things going on here. You had the road leading uphill to the right, the power lines going through the center of the photo, and then on the left you had this hilly greenery. After I took this photo, I actually moved further up to the left towards the white gate that was there and took a photo of that. It was definitely quite bright at this point, and I was catching a few sun flares here and there throughout the day actually. I wasn't too crazy about these. They just seemed to distract your attention away from the photo and yeah, just kind of take away a bit of contrast, and yeah, I'm not overly keen about those, I think. So the afternoon kind of took a turn where I was mostly stopping off on the way there. I wasn't really trying to get to Dayboro, so I was definitely stopping off at different locations. And one thing that caught my eye next was these yellow fields. You just had layers and layers of yellow fields with this nice mountain in the back. It was still quite bright at this point, so it probably didn't do it justice. I think it would have looked better if it was like golden hour or even blue hour with some nice, more kind of softer light. I think it would have came across a little better. In saying that, I quite liked the way it looked, kind of a little bit overexposed and a little bit expired, just because you had that very warm, very saturated look to the photo. And I do think medium format really comes into play here, where you get that added extra detail. You can just see so much detail in the mountains at the back. And also, if you want to crop the composition, you're not too fond on the composition, you can crop in a little bit, which is what I actually did. And yeah, it just makes for a better photo without losing any detail. For the next part of the afternoon, I actually found what looked like a farm and just took a leisurely stroll around and took in the scenery and took a few shots as well. These roads are definitely popular with motorbike riders, and you can definitely see why. They just curve and wind, and you've got this amazing scenery in the backdrop as well. And I can imagine the combination of the scenery and the roads just make for some really nice cruising. As the sun was starting to set, I was definitely enjoying the photos a lot more. I think it was bringing out a lot of orange and yellow tones out in the grass, and also giving a softer feel to the photos, which I generally like more. This photo is definitely one of my favorites from the day. I just love how the white posts contrast nicely on the green background. And yeah, just the rolling hills in the back as well are a nice touch too. Dayboro itself is actually quite a small town, so I ended up cruising through because there's not too much going on. And then I ended up at these fields, and there was the most gorgeous light coming through in patches through these trees, illuminating bits of the grass. It made for some really soft, nice photos. It's about golden hour right now. Probably got about 20 minutes left of light. It's beautiful scenery. I was going to shoot in Sanford and then decided not to, so here we are. And look at that light. This hits different. And then I drove past the fields and I got to a section of really tall trees. It was quite dark at this point and there wasn't much light coming through, but there was a lot of golden light at the back of the trees, so you could get some really nice shots of that. At this point I started to make my way back to Brisbane and I was pretty much done for the day, didn't have any more photos planned. But as I was driving back, blue hour started to begin. It made for some really interesting colours in the sky. Luckily I actually had my tripod handy, so I thought I'd set up a few shots and see if I can capture the interesting colours in the sky. They ended up being a little bit underexposed for my liking, but I did like this car shot. You had this cinematic feel to the photo, you had this kind of glow coming from the trees, and the red light from the car with the motion blur kind of looked cool. I didn't take the most amazing photos that day. It wasn't really for that, I guess. It was just to experience a new place and just, you know, get back into the swing of shooting again. Be sure to check out my Instagram if you want to see more of my film shots. But thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy the video, I'd love it if you gave it a like. Otherwise, stay safe out there and I'll see you next time. Peace.